documents which are required if you are the winner of the DV lottery application. When you go to the visa interview, you need to have the following documents so that you can have a way of getting the visa to come to the United States of America. The following is the list of those documents which you need to have. Number one, obviously, is your birth certificate. You need to have your birth certificate. Number two, you need to have the passport. And remember, the names of the birth certificate must be matching the names of your passport. Number three, you need to have the education documentation. Whatever the level you have, primary, bachelor, masters, whatever you have, you need to have the documentations, the certificates to prove your level of education. If you don't have high school education, you need to be seriously with work experience. You need to have the documentation to prove that you have work experience. Like you need to have anything like, let's say, something like contract, job description, to have a letter from your manager or the CEO, the owner of the organization. All those kind of things you need to have so that they can prove that you are working somewhere. So all the work you put there have the information and even the phone number if they want to call just to follow up. Another document which you need to have, if you are married, you need to have the marriage certificate. But if you are widowed, you can have the death certificate. If you are just divorced, just in case, just go with your divorce document, just in case. If you have been to prison, you need to have the court and the prison documentation if you have been to prison. And obviously, you need to have the police clearance form. The police clearance is required for the people, first of all, who are 16 years and above. That's number one. If you are the father, a child is 14, you'll be just requiring just one police clearance because the other person is under the age of 16. But if you have lived in any country from the age of 16 and above for more than 6 months, you need to have a police clearance from that country. Whether you have been there 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 20 years ago, you will need to have the police clearance from that particular country so that you can be able to process that. If you have been in the military as active duty military, you have served in the country as a soldier in your country, you will need to have a military record. The reason being, some of the crimes you might commit, they will not be brought to the normal civilian court. They might be in court martial in the military. So having the military record will also help them to get some of the criminal background and conduct while you are in the military per se. But there is no problem just because you are in the military to deny you. There is no problem with that as long as you show those documentation you are there. So those are some of the documents which you need to have on the day of the interview. But the same documentation will be applicable if you are married. The same documentation will be applicable if you have children. Exception will be like those, as I say, like police clearance. If a child is under the age of 16, will not be required to have those one. You need to go with the original documentations. If there is any document which is not in English, it must be translated and it must have the official translation affidavit that this has been translated and this is the true original translation. In addition to that, if in any case there are names which are not matching, maybe school certificate versus the birth certificate or passport, or if you are married and you have changed the name officially to your spouse's name, have the documentation to prove those kind of things. You'll be making your case so much easier. The interview will be less than 5 minutes and you'll be able to be given the visa and you'll be able to be welcomed to the United States of America, and they will tell you welcome home.